Hello there, good people. I have some bad news for you today. I know how much you have all loved these little segments. They're good for a few chuckles on a Sunday morning. Funnier than the preacher's usual fail, even if the puns are a little pitiful. This is your last one, and I'm afraid it won't be the least bit entertaining. In my story, there's absolutely nothing to laugh at. And that's because my story is the only one without any kind of happy ending. My story, epic failure, is just completely depressing. My name is Judas, the one they called Iscariot. I'm the very one who sold out his friends for a few lousy pieces of silver. I'm the one who betrayed his beloved Savior with a kiss. I'm the one without hope, beyond redemption, forever cursed. And I'm really sorry to ruin your happy, joyful Palm Sunday. Sorry to be a Debbie Downer for your festive hosannas. But it wouldn't be right to end this sermon series on the epic fails of the Bible without me, because when I turn up, things just get real. I think you all know my story. Among the 12, I was the money man, the accountant, the treasurer. And that sounds like an important job, and it was, but it wasn't some big honor. I got the job because no one else was willing to do it. Everyone wanted to follow Jesus and leave things like their monthly bills behind, but somebody had to cover the check. Matthew would have been much better. He was a former tax man, but it fell to me. So I followed Jesus. I made sure the bills were paid. And believe me, sometimes that took some creativity. That's what I thought I was doing that night. I thought I was being creative. You see, I believed in Jesus. If I didn't, why would I follow him for years all over Judea? And I thought when we got to Jerusalem, that would be it. Finally, no more living day to day, hand to mouth. Finally, Jesus would just take over and set up the palace. But when we got there, with that silly little parade with the palms, Jesus took one look at the Roman soldiers and he left. What was he thinking? People were behind him. If ever there was a moment to strike, it was then, but we left. So I decided, I'm going to fix this. I'm going to work it all out. I'll just sail Jesus out to the Sanhedrin. I thought for sure that if I could just force Jesus' hand, he'd have to come through. He always did. I never thought they'd actually kill him. I'd seen this fellow raise the dead. He could beat the Romans with the power in his pinky finger without breaking a sweat. And meanwhile, I made enough money to pay the bills. One way or the other, either Jesus was who he said he was, or he wasn't. But that night, at dinner, he already knew somehow. He knew I sold him out. He looked right at me. But he never had me out, and he never did anything to stop it. Later, I met him in the garden, and kissed him, and they took him by force. And that idiot Peter almost got himself killed by pulling that sword. But Jesus went calmly, quietly, peacefully. They put him on trial, and they sentenced him to death. And Jesus seemed content to be let to die. And it hit me like a Mack truck. This was all my fault. I tried to make him the Messiah, and instead I made him a martyr. I had destroyed the thing I loved the most in the world, and sold it for a bad price. I tried to give the money back. They wouldn't have it. They already had what they wanted. I was of no consequence to them. I truly was the most epic fail of all. I betrayed everything right and good in my life. The best man who ever lived. My Lord and my God. For nothing. It was all for nothing. I couldn't go on. I could never live with that. My life was over. I had nothing to live for, so I took my own life. Whatever came next, it couldn't be any worse than that hell I was already living. So if I have any advice for you at all, then it must be tell you to be careful. Be sure of what you're doing. And when you make a bet, when you go all in, bet on Jesus, friends. Bet on him every time. Apart from Jesus, you're just gambling to get all the way. If only I could have known. If only I could have seen. As it is, there is no hope, no mercy for one such as me. That is my lot. That is my failure. Don't let it be yours. Don't let it be yours.